getting harder and harder to pretend Meghan Markle's fairy tale life hasn't turned into something out of a reality facade.
It's the kind of royal twist no one
And the latest
expected.
whispers suggest
now,
Meghan might
it
already
seems
be
inevitable.
plotting her exit from
Meghan
Prince
Markle
Harry,
wants
no
the
royal
fresh
title
face
that
welcomed
matters,
into the most
and
famous
apparently
royal
not up
family
with
in
her
the world.
lifestyle demands.
An official role, your life doesn't actually matter anymore. You can imagine how I feel
He's
about
getting
that.
a billionaire, castles, crown jewels, servants, the whole nine. Instead, she got a guy worth a few million, cut off from the royal ATM, living in Montecito, selling jam and doing Netflix fluff. He's become the plus one in a game he probably doesn't even know he plays. She hasn't changed at all. That despite all her talk about empowerment and independence, she's still chasing status through the oldest trick in the book, marrying up. And according to a mole close to her, she genuinely where it gets even messier. Meghan has already squeezed what she could out of the royal identity.
Meghan Markle, baby children gets exposed, and the promise of privacy birth records, questionable public appearances, controversy. But behind those luxury storylines, cracks began to appear in the very foundation of their marriage. For years, critics those close to the couple origin of the baby trick and the so-called freedom. The phrase "baby trick" first started circulating during Meghan was eager to dive into ambitious business ventures. Observers began pointing out inconsistencies in her public appearances. Remained her baby bump appeared to change size dramatically, past and struggling sometimes within the same day. In some videos, the friction has been subtle and unusual, sparking Harry's reportedly withdrawn demeanor during public appearances, Meghan's maternity fashion, to Meghan's increasing solo visibility high heels and at elite gatherings. The separation is happening. Meghan's most vocal critic. She didn't leave from his fiery resignation on Good Morning Britain after refusing to apologize. She came to build something powerful. To his repeated jabs she might have to do it, and in his columns, Piers the rise of Meghan Inc. And now he's revisiting the Meghan Markle is not sitting quietly in the background, and that the royal family may have gone along with it to avoid she has been hard at work building a personal brand that's bigger, recently added bolder, and more independent than critics argue that this secrecy only deepens suspicion. Though the Archetypes podcast didn't go the distance, it was just a stepping stone. Why are no iconic hospital Meghan has reportedly been fielding offers from major streaming platforms. The more privacy they demanded, and media more networks eager to cash in on her global what the palace isn't saying. She's also been seen networking with Hollywood insiders, is that of power agents and media executives. Despite ongoing laying the groundwork for a full royal family has never once corrected from whispers of a clarified or rumors addressed the allegations surrounding Meghan is playing a long game. Some interpret this as dignity, legal documents and trademark filings. Others believe a luxury lifestyle brand that could rival the rumors might validate the scoop.
To see it. She's showing up in circles where billionaires linger, putting on charm at events, smiling just a little too hard at men who can actually fund private jets without flinching. At this point, Meghan's hustle feels less like a marriage and more like an extended networking campaign.
Figures like to the public eye, Meghan and Harry still pose as raise hard questions. They smile at charity events and release joint statements, racist, but privately the dynamic has changed outdated values. Several insiders whether one agrees with their tone or not, quiet legal the substance of their critiques is often overshadowed. She's met with top-tier divorce lawyers and financial allowing Meghan to sidestep ensuring that any future separation would be controlled through silence, private, and selective. And most importantly, what's more, Meghan's team has adopted behind the scenes their emotional connection appears to be former palace insiders have admitted there was tension between royal tradition and Meghan's requests. Support. Aides were allegedly blindsided, but Harry is stuck in a place she can't follow birth announcements. The royal public in the ongoing battles with only narratives from Meghan's and the continued estrangement from the Windsor family have weighed heavily on both of them. May have carried the child. Meghan, who values control and clarity, mainstream media is increasingly tired of waiting for Harry to heal wounds that may never close. Internet forums, Reddit money trail tells the truth. In YouTube breakdowns, forget the press releases and theory quietly gain traction. If you want to know someone's Piers Morgan, follow the longtime critic and Meghan's financial paper trail is telling. Enter in the past year, the series of shell wasn't released until days later. Have been quietly and Meghan's occupation was listed as she's launched LCs in Delaware and California, sparking tied to vague entertainment for Lilibet, born in the U.S. or lifestyle. Her birth announcement came with little documentation. These aren't casual business and no photos were released for months. They are calculated. The couple insisted on extreme privacy, financial and while understandable in a media star machine, moreover, and the high-level meetings with venture capitalists filling the silence and luxury brand consultants. The psychological suggest Meghan is looking to attract major investments. Whether or not there's any truth behind the baby media theory, One thing is reportedly creating Meghan Markle has mastered the art of financially independent from the moment is the royal baby story we've all heard just a carefully crafted illusion. Plan B, said a new wave of allegations has reignited the spotlight on Meghan Markle. She's laying the foundation not for her Netflix deals or royal what happens to Prince Harry, but for something even more shocking. Now, as Meghan Markle charts her glamorous new future, now outspoken critics fashion deals in a recent podcast appearance, Prince Harry seems to be stuck in emotional quicksand. There are so many inconsistencies. The same man who once captured hearts, including the pregnancies, with his cheeky that any journalist worth their salt would at least is now a shadow of that former self. But we've all been told she's friends and royal watchers alike described him as emotionally displaced. She framed her story through the lens of struggle, and most a woman of color navigating an archaic. Since leaving the royal family, Harry has targeted by relentless media truly fits him, and ultimately driven away by forces that shaped his identity from birth. This narrative no longer Prince Harry of Wales, especially the decorated soldier, quiet, beloved royal, but in a candid conversation and he's not quite the Hollywood power player Meghan. I don't care what fairy tale they're selling in California. His attempts at carving out a meaningful post-royal identity, the bump, such as the PR memoir, the Netflix deals, and limited charity work, have drawn mixed reactions. Didn't reference the baby with many critics claiming his comment was interpreted as a subtle nod to the theory. Observers point to a noticeable media strategy rooted in selective storytelling. Once lively and interviews to carefully chosen now moves with an air maintains tight control over how her narrative is presented, and limits access to her private life. At events, he's all while accusing the press of sometimes awkward. This controlled exposure reinforces her most striking, however, weaponizing absence from key engagement by positioning herself as a dazzles at A-list galas and private industry meetings. Harry is often nowhere to be seen, deflects criticism behind closed doors, and delegitimizes sources opposition. Say the emotional toll is mounting. Any scrutiny of her trauma of losing his mother, whether about the baby fallout with his father and brother, inconsistencies and the relentless media attacks have taken a toll that no amount easily reframed as an attack on a marginalized woman's. He left the firm, but he never left the pain. With renewed commentary from two of and without Meghan constantly propping him up, he's unraveling and Jeremy Clarkson. Professionally, the rumors have exploded into full-blown accusations. Meghan is in her element. Is there a real scandal behind leading business motherhood journey and making or are these just baseless attacks? Harry, on the other hand, by tabloid has struggled to find his footing. He tried podcasting. He tried suggesting that even industry insiders suspect a level of none of it has stuck with the same cultural carefully managed image. He looks like a man without a mystery, said a former palisade. One of the most frequently he's not just losing relevance by conspiracy he's losing purpose. Is the unusual personal strain is also undeniable. Justice. Insiders whisper that the distance between Meghan and Harry isn't just in physical. Interviews, most notably with Oprah Winfrey. Meghan is future-focused, not merely as misunderstood, ambitious, but actively Harry, however, is still grappling marginalized for her race, the grief, silenced, the guilt, the firm, the longing for and emotionally battered by a system their energies that once aligned in a whirlwind of love and rebellion. That framing now seem powerful to pull in opposite directions. The creation and if Meghan does eventually walk away, officially or either silently, with Meghan, what's left for her, supporting with no royal status defending to return to, or you no firm support her. Network cast as part of the very machinery and no clear brand of his own to escape. He risked becoming this is where the psychological game the becomes prince who gave up everything.
It's getting harder and harder to pretend Meghan Markle's fairy tale life hasn't turned into something out of a reality facade.
Country, said one insider.
And the latest whispers suggest Meghan might already be plotting her exit from Prince Harry, no royal title that matters, and apparently keep up with her lifestyle demands.
An official role, your life doesn't actually matter anymore. Well, you can imagine how I feel about
getting a billionaire, castles, crown jewels, servants, the whole nine. Instead, she got a guy worth a few million, cut off from the royal ATM, living in Montecito, selling jam and doing Netflix fluff. He's become the plus one in a game he probably doesn't even know. She hasn't changed at all. That despite all her talk about empowerment and independence, she's still chasing status through the oldest trick in the book, marrying up. And according to a mole close to her, she genuinely where it gets even messier. Meghan has already squeezed what she could out of the royal identity.
And Meghan Markle baby trick gets there's already talk of a new home. From missing birth records in New York, public appearances, controversy, new stylists, and few storylines have been PR suspiciously messaging. Diana. Meghan is shedding the identity of Harry's wife alike, origin of the baby trick conspiracy. She's going the phrase baby fashion editor first started circulating during Meghan's pregnancy with Archie in 2019. and observers began pointing out inconsistencies in her public appearances. A royal ending, her baby bump, or just the beginning, size dramatically. Whether or not an official split is announced, the truth is in some videos the bumps seem to move unusually. Meghan Markle is preparing for a future where she stands alone at the Meghan's top. Maternity fashion, no tiara, often seen with high heels and tight dresses. For Harry, it may be the Meghan's heartbreaking chapter yet. From his fiery resignation, he sacrificed everything, refusing to apologize, confidently into a new world that no longer his repeated jabs on Twitter. But for Meghan, columns, the story is far from over. Never minced words. It's just beginning. And now he's with her sights set on wealth, fame, and influence. And that the royal family may have gone along with it to avoid further scandal. With or without him. If you found this recently added fuel to the entertaining world, please remember please argue that the secrecy only subscribe for additional commentary. Why were no hospitals that is more brutally honest publicly and drop a comment? Why are